This is 105.9 Academy FM. Today we have two-star guests, Vic Reeves and Bob Mortimer. So, Vic and Bob, how did you two meet each other?
I was doing a show called Vic Reeves' Big Night Out at a pub in South East London in the 1980s. Bob was in the audience, he came to have a look, and it was it wasn't like stand-up, it was kind of like a free-for-all, so you could do whatever we wanted. So I said to Bob, why don't you come on the stage and we'll do something together?
So, how would you describe your relationship?
Well, we're brothers in arms.
Yeah, the brothers in arms is good. You know, we've known each other a long time now. You know, we're on the same wavelength with our comedy and our writing, and, you know, it's nice to do something with a friend because we have to spend a lot of time together. If we're writing a Shooting Stars, for example, we'll be at work, just the two of us in an office for, 3 to 4 months solid.
So this is for you, Vic. What do you think Bob's best and worst qualities are?
Well, the best quality is he's a very kind and a very funny man, and he hasn't got any bad qualities.
What do you think Vic's best and worst qualities are?
Best qualities is that he's probably the funniest bloke alive at the moment, if you ask me. So can you imagine that, sharing your days with the funniest bloke on the planet? You got to enjoy that. Worst qualities? I don't know. He sometimes eats food that stinks.
Well,
you know,
that's true.
occasionally.
It stinks to other people, but not to me.
When did you first think about becoming a comedian?
I never thought about it. I was at art school and I was doing stuff on stage, so I didn't have to go to work, and I had a lot of ideas I wanted to get out, so I wasn't really thinking of being a comedian, and I'd never seen any comedy really, so it was a surprise.
Back when we first started just doing our little show in the pub, there wasn't really this sort of comedy career that you can have now. You know, you see comedians on the television, they get themselves 20 minutes of jokes together, and there's little shows they can do, and there's television people looking out for them. When all those years ago when we started, that didn't exist really, so we were just doing the comedy. But we were just Thursday nights, and we would go to the pub and have as much fun as we could, but we didn't see it as something that would lead to a career or anything.
What advice would you give to a young person wanting to follow in your footsteps?
I would say don't do it for a career. If you're funny, first of all, do it for yourself. Don't think, I want to have lots of people adoring me and laughing at me jokes. You've got to make sure that you are funny in the first place.
Would you say that Shooting Stars was a big event for the both of you?
The big event was when we did the Vic Reeves' Big Night Out on the telly on Channel 4 in 1990, and then we did a show called The Smell of Reeves Mortimer, and Shooting Stars was kind of our after-school job. It was just for fun, really, wasn't it?
In terms of public recognition, Shooting Stars was a big deal. We got 3 times as many viewers for Shooting Stars as we did for our previous show, so in that sense it was a big deal, yeah.
Matt Lucas is a really big Hollywood star. Is that because you let him on your show?
Bob found Matt Lucas in a little stand-up place, asked him if he wanted to be on our show, The Smell of Reeves Mortimer, when he was 17. So that's the first time he was on television. We had him playing a mayor of Aldington-on-Sea, and he was supposed to be, I think, about a 65-year-old, although he was 17 at the time.
Yeah, Matt started off with us. He worked with us for probably 8 years or something. So, yeah, we gave him the opportunity, but he's made it on his own merits, you know.
You just mentioned George Dawes, Matt Lucas. Loved him, absolutely loved him, but Angelos and his carrier bag and his undying love for Ulrika. Why? Why do you have such strange scorekeeping characters?
Well, you know, if we had someone plain and uneventful, then you wouldn't be watching, would you? We're like people with quirks.
I think that we always wanted some device for scoring, and in Vic and mine's world, you know, you might as well make it something with a big impact, you know, a character rather than just someone who's functional, you know. And he wrote to us and demanded to be on the show, and to be honest with you, he's quite scary, so we weren't going to say no.
When you're sitting down and you're writing Shooting Stars together, do you argue, if you've got an idea and one of you, like the dove from above and things, who makes the final decision on any ideas that go forward?
We're a pure democracy in our office, and if one of us doesn't like it, we generally just don't say anything, you know, so it kind of disappears and goes away. When we're usually on the right track and we kind of work the ideas up together, so they eventually reach a point where we're both happy with them. But we've never ever argued, ever.
So, do you like your job?
I love my job, but it's the best job in the world. I'll get up in the morning and go to work with me mate and act stupid. What could be better than that?
Yeah, it's a good job. I'd highly recommend it to you.
And obviously, so many people get to share your sense of humour and the jokes that you produce for us. What makes you belly laugh so bad that your jaw hurts and you actually think you could wet yourself?
Well, honest truth is, the only time I really ever laugh out loud like that is in our office. And that's a perfect and honest truth.
I did, a long time ago, do you remember the show Bo Selector?
Yeah.
There was an episode of that which made me laugh till it hurt, you know. But I can't think of anything since. That's a long time ago now.
Get your laughter in while you can, while you're young, because the older you get, the harder it becomes to show a real proper belly. I remember falling on the floor in that style watching Monty Python when I was probably about 11, and once when I was watching a Naked Gun film at the cinema, but I was the only one laughing at the point that I was laughing. Everyone else didn't seem to find it funny.
What was your most embarrassing moment on stage?
Well, I've got one. I'm not particularly embarrassed because I think embarrassment left us a long time ago, but we were in front of about 5,000 people and I let one go, if you like, and it was quite rough, and Bob walked into it and the whole of the audience could see from the look on Bob's face what had happened.
Probably my most embarrassing one was we were, as a couple of characters called the Stotts, we were interviewing, I think it was Sinead O'Connor. I wet myself. And so if you look at that on YouTube or whatever, you'll see that there's a big dark stain gradually growing on my yellow tight pants. But there was nothing I could do about it. Jim was making me laugh, you see.
If you're doing this job, you've got to put shame and embarrassment to one side because it happens.